G'day and welcome to my garage. Well, as you know, I was machining the tailstock base and yes, I got my measurements wrong and I machined it too far. So not worried about whether the nose of the tailstock is pointing up or pointing down. The whole thing is now too down, too low. So I'm making up another base for it. This is a piece of scrap cast that I did for the mill. This is the quill support. So yeah, that's the story. I've got to break this down and turn it into a tailstock base. I've got to get down so that this is all gone. I've got this face down to size. I've put a centre line across there that I'll use later. I'm now bringing the other side down. Well, the stock is round and that tail stand base is square. I made this ankle plate for mounting on the face plate on the lathe. Yeah, if I remember right, I used it to mount the actually, what was that? That was a mounting block for the steady rest. That's right. Actually, it's to do the same job again, but this time for the tail stand. It was to cut a 45 degree on an aluminium base block for the steady rest, and then I bolted a steel plate to that to the other adjacent edge of the 45 to create a 90 degree. We'll take that off and see how we go. So I've cleaned it up. I've drilled 2 extra holes. I now have the plate to go in here, which I will assemble. I have them marked on the end here, so I know which is which. In the new plate, I've changed my direction. I've gone away from the aluminium base that I was making, and I've got a 12mm thick, or about probably 12.7. I think it's ½ inch. It's old bit that I've had for years. I've cut that up, and it's going to be a 2-piece. So this original tail stand base, which I got a bit too heavy and cut too thin, and I'll just drop that. I can find it on this particular floor. Where was I? Yes, the new one will be 2-piece. So a piece for the bottom and then a piece at the top. For the moment I'm going to leave these screws long. I'll order some 12mm. 12mm? Yeah, 12mm. M4 by 12 countersunks is what I need, rather than cut them. Let's see. So the idea of this is to recreate this V. So I mount it there, clamp it, and then I can come in with the milling tool to create the V. Hopefully. Got to get that right. Don't want to stuff this one up too. So that's what that is for. Now that will mount in the vise on parallels. That will mount in the vise. That will go on like so, and then the whole thing will be mounted to the work table on the mill. We'll probably see you on the mill next. As you can see, I've got the base plate mounted upside down. I'm now, and it's mounted to a 90-degree V. The one I made. I'm now creating that V in the base. So here we go. There's a fair bit of vibration in this. I don't know. It doesn't like steel. I'm just doing a clean-up pass. I've come down 7.5mm. The original is 10mm, but I've come down to 7.5mm, and I'll clean this up and then try it on the bed. See how much more I want to take off. Yeah, I just want to make sure I don't take off more than what's required. So just a quick pass. If it's not enough, I can put it back onto this jig. It's repeatable. So let's see how that turned out. So I'm in the process of cutting about a ½ relief in the V of this tailstock base. think that's turned out pretty good. Maybe a little bit deeper up on the top land. I'll see if I can get a little bit deeper in the top land. Works beautiful with this works beautiful with this 4mm cutter. You may be able to see that I put some relief in here. I had a bit of trouble with the mill, still getting used to its capabilities. But it's working. Got to get rid of that. But this is starting to get good contact. Starting. As you saw, I ran a 4mm end mill down the middle. Okay, just leave it with me. Okay, the piece I've got in the mill at the present moment will be this centre piece, because the new base is going to be two-piece. I'm milling down the thickness of this centre piece, and I have to reduce it by 19 thou, sorry. I have to reduce it by 19 thou. So the gauge, which is at the top of your screen there, is on 0. Got to come over, we'll say 15 thou. Let's see what that's going to do. Just in case my eyes are deceiving me, I'll give that a quick measure. Yeah, that moved more than 15. Well, after I moved you out of the way, I was able to work out where I went wrong, and I had to readjust the table, take a test, cut for a little bit. Yeah, that was good. I thought I'm not bringing you back. I had you too close. I put you between me and the milling machine. I very rarely do that. I thought I'd get you closer in on the action. So guess what, boys and girls? You're not getting that close to the action unless I can telephoto in or something, zoom in I should say. So I've now got a minor mistake, but it won't be a problem. Just here I cut down 12 thou too much, but that is okay because it's going to be on the end, and I don't think I'll put that I wasn't going to put that chamfer in, but I may do now. Anyhow, it's all recoverable. So once I had the right depth of cut, it all worked fine without you. I'm sorry about that, but hey, that's how it rumbles sometimes. I need to get this down to 400, which it is 402. That's close enough. So that was the last pass on that piece. That's the side I just machined. So I'll clean that up, and that should be the end of this for the moment, this block. Excuse me, start again. I'm easing out the hole in this plate, which is this one here. This one's 14. I've drilled this to 12 now, and I've come back 1 mil, and now I'm going cutting on the far side there, closest to the vise, another mil. That'll bring me out to 14 millimeters. So let's go. I'm nearly there. Doesn't have to be exactly precise. Yep, 14.15 will be in. Then I've got to thread these 3 holes, actually 2, that one and that one. The third one I won't need. I put it in just in case I needed to break this. No, remove that. That was a mistake. That was just no. That's got to go in. That's got to hold the. No, that one goes in, and that one goes in. That's right. That's a mistake. Okay. I'll bring you back later. Okay, it's not finished, but this is in a state where I can put it back on the lathe to check the tailstock height. I know it's going to be too high. Advantage of being a 2-piece base here is I can take this off and machine the pad, the whole pad. just checking to see that the bar is running parallel to the bed. There's about 1 thou out. I won't bother adjusting that because I know this is higher, so the tip will be rolling down the radius of the bar. So we'll leave that at the moment, and I'll set myself back up again to read across the top and find out how much higher it is. I'll just bring this to the top of the test bar. That's it there. Now, depending on my parallax error, about 0. Okay, let's bring it up this end. This will tell us how much higher it is. So I'm about 43. No. It's 1.5. It's 42.5 less than 1.5. 41. So I'm 41 thou too high. Okay, 66 to 42. I needed 30 off, but I'll just sneak up on that. And a final cut. Well, final. I'll bring this down another 3. And this should bring it down to, this should be another 20 thou off. That noise is when the fly cutter comes around and it hits the other side of this slot. Alright, you'll have to get out of my way. Okay, we're out to 60 mil travel, and we tighten, and we're about, what do we got, 83. And we're 83 and a half, so we're doing well. Now I've reset the dial test indicator to now measure the difference in height between the centre of the headstock and the centre of the tailstock. So we are currently at 33 and we finish at just under 31, so about 2.25 down, but I can live with that. Well, I won't say I couldn't live with that as my last statement, but it did annoy me some. So I'll bring you around and show you what I ended up doing. I didn't take video of this for some reason, but yeah, every now and again I forget to turn that camera on. But where are we? Let's show you this part. And we'll zoom in, zoom out a bit. Now I don't know if I showed you on the video that I relieved the back here. I did show you I did cut out this centre section to relieve that. That way I only had the smaller pads here to file. I did the same thing on the back here. I relieved the back here because that back edge is the edge that it rests on the bed. So again I only had two small pads to file, and what I ended up doing was putting a couple of dabs of weld on those and hand filing those and getting rid of that 2.5 thou below height. I turned up a centre in the lathe and put a 6-inch rule, 150mm rule between the tailstock and centre and the centre in the lathe, and I was able to get the ruler to stand up straight. So I'm presuming the vertical alignment of the ruler tells me I'm 0, so I'll stick with that.